check.
1, 2. This is the Chu Down Show with Chuy Gomez. Chuy Gomez.
Let's get started, shall we?
Yeah.
Yo, dude, got Dame, the boy Dame, hanging out a wicked dinky dog, home with the glizzy.
It's a hot link.
Who called them glizzies, bro?
I don't know. Is hot links a glizzy? I thought is it hot dog?
Hot dogs are glizzy, and hot link is not, but who came up with glizzies?
I think that's a New York thing, though.
I don't know, man. Can we just call a hot dog, bro?
I don't eat hot dogs anyway.
Oh, you don't?
No, I only eat hot links.
Hot links only?
Yeah.
I just started eating hot links because that was my mistake.
They actually like
They got flavor.
actual meat.
No, but they got flavor,
Yeah, I
though.
don't think-
But yo, it's funny because the first hot link I had was the ones that be having pineapple in them. You ever had those pineapple sausage?
No, I just
Oh.
eat I think Evergood.
Evergood makes them.
Yeah, I just do the regular hot.
Yeah, no, but but I'm saying what led me into them was the pineapple ones. I had that by mistake at a cookout. Not a barbecue, but a cookout. And so I had one, and I was like, ooh, this is good. Then I tried a hot link, and I was like, ooh, that's even better than that.
So it took you all these years to try hot
It
link.
did, because, dude, it's funny. Somebody said to my man Gil, the producer of the show, said, oh, I think it was Lil Russell, he said, Chuy don't eat no vegetables? What is he?
Oh, yeah, he
a
never did
6-year-old? I said, I got a 6-year-old palate? Yes, thank you very much. But
Yeah.
that's always been me.
Yeah,
But you
for
got to
sure.
remember, my mama cooked for me. When she made dinner for the family, she'd ask me what I want.
Oh,
So if she made enchiladas,
you the favorite?
of course, come on, man. Is that even a question, bro?
Not Patty.
Nah, man. I'm the favorite in the Bay. Period. Not just at home. I'm the favorite in the Bay.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying? So anyways, my mama would make enchiladas, and I don't like the spiciness of enchiladas, so she would make me plain enchiladas. And so she makes spaghetti. She makes spaghetti without all the big pieces in it.
Yeah.
So I was just always spoiled that way. But this ain't about me. It's about you. We're here to talk about DaBoyDame.
What up, man?
Man, I met you. Were you right out of college when I met you?
No, I was still in college.
You were still in college?
Yeah, I
when,
was like
when Lady
19.
Ray brought you to the station?
Yep. And yeah, 19. Because Ray brought me, but they tried to throw me on the street team. No disrespect to the street team, but I was already doing college radio in Atlanta. Then I bumped into you. I rejected the offer to do street team.
Yeah.
Then I seen you at Stone Soul at Cal State Hayward. And then I did my 1-2, and you was like, just come to the studio. So you saved me from
a
life
of hanging up posters and pulling hard speakers, big heavy speakers, lugging them around, to just hanging out with me, pulling carts off the wall.
Yeah. I used to be in a little office. But y'all taught me a lot though.
But that's the beauty of doing what I do, is that you get a chance to talk to a lot of people, and you meet a lot of people. Like when we met at the Stone Soul, it was just a family event. We was out there chilling.
Yeah.
I remember I had a little white hat on. I thought I was looking fly. And I remember because that was the only one I went to in Hayward. I was wearing my little Rick James shirt on.
Yeah, you was already you was Chuy though. Like you was like
I was walking around, shaking hands, kissing babies, and young Dame came up and said, "Hey, old blood."
I'm like, man, they try to put me on the street team. I'm already hosting concerts, and I knew all the rappers in Atlanta. I'm like, I think that's a downgrade, but
But it was good. So you came to work and intern with me over at KMEL. Lady Ray brought you in. You got to give her props because she always argued with me. I brought Dame. Yes, Lady Ray, you brought Dame, but you rejected him. I brought her back into the fold. So Lady Ray, we love you.
Yeah, for sure.
So you're at KMEL, you're interning, you're doing what you're doing. Did you know that you wanted to do what you're at today? We'll get to where you're at today, but did you know when you was doing what you was doing that that's the trajectory you wanted to take? Is that where you wanted to end up at?
No, not at all. I wanted to take your job. I thought I was gonna be like the next Chuy Gomez, and I didn't even know politics
You can
of
say
radio.
politics. You can talk about it.
And I think maybe like a year in interning, I realized it was only 4 spots. and I think you might have told me your salary. And I'm like, there's no way I would leave my job working 4 hours. And I'm like, okay, I think they only get fired. I don't think nobody just leaves. And I think he was telling how we was the 4th biggest market. So I'm like, man, I just was waiting for my turn, honestly. And then, of course, I think things happened with you up there. And I think they tried to figure out, shout out to Sana. Sana definitely tried to, like, give me a cosign. But I think they was like, nah, he too affiliated to who we just let go. So,
and that's the politics, again, that we're talking about.
But, I always had a rapport with the artists. I used to try to get people to come do interviews. And I met Yo Gotti during that time, and he invited me out, and the West Coast was big on the production at the time with Mustard. And I'm like, nah, we know the real people, not this and Mustard, but I'm like, yo, we know the actual sound. And that's when I gave him Act Right. And I still didn't know what I did. I thought I just gave him a beat. And, the label was there, and they like, this is a good song. And I think somebody at the label was like, man, you just A&R his single. And, I damn near gave myself the title of his A&R. And then he just kind of, we've been in for 14 years. I think since you've been gone from the station. So, yeah, I think it's my 14th or 15th year, and we done did a lot more stuff.
But, it's funny that you said, because sometimes when you're doing something, you did it for the culture. You did it because it's what you were living, what you were breathing. And as you do what you love, and you don't realize you can pull those fruits off that tree. You know what I'm saying? And so for you, doing what you're doing, and all of a sudden you can see you can get a paycheck out of that, it's rewarding.
Yeah, because my intern, I probably was the longest reigning intern of an intern, because I never got paid from the station. But you gave me position, though. Like, you didn't treat me like an intern. You kind of, I know my name was Dame the Intern for a minute, but eventually it got to DaBoyDame, which was always my nickname. And, I used to play around with you and E laptops, and y'all used to be like, nah, I think you might have got me my first laptop, my first MacBook. And I know y'all used to be like, y'all ain't gonna keep playing on the Serato, like you gotta learn how to actually DJ. So, learning BPMs and intros, 8 bars, like I learned all that from radio. So by the time I did get to A&R, they thought I was a genius, because I was like, nah, from a DJ perspective, this is how the record go and all that. So I learned a lot.
And so you did your thing, and you started working with Yo Gotti, and you started helping him out and kind of not necessarily giving him a sound, because he definitely had a sound, but you kind of tailored some stuff. At what point do you find yourself hanging out with Little Duval and bringing artists to Yo Gotti and putting together shows? How do all that transition in your life?
Well, yeah, I actually met Duval with you because you gave me the power of booking guests. And I think I told the legend Tommy T, I'm like, you got to go book Lil Duval. You know what I'm saying? And he booked Duval. And that's how I actually met Duval that day. And then me and him just built our own relationship from there. And you know what I'm saying? He just always, him, Yo Gotti, Juvenile, like those are the 3 people that like I will call my industry family. But I met them through
me.
Yeah.
And so it started from there. But
I definitely came from you letting me wiggle off the name Chuy Gomez of the Morning Show.
But I mean, that's awesome. But I mean, and it's funny, I tell these stories all the time. It's like, I can only open the door for you. It's what you do once you get through that door.
Yeah.
And I repeat myself all the time, because it's like, I didn't make DaBoyDame.
Yeah.
I allowed DaBoyDame to be the best DaBoyDame he could be.
For sure.
See what I'm saying? So it's like, when you out there doing your thing, always realize that when somebody's giving you the opportunity, you got to put your best foot forward and do the best you can, because at the end of the day, it's about you.
Yeah.
Not about what Chuy did for you, but about what you did to represent yourself.
For sure.
And so you've done that.
Yeah.
And you flourished, and you've blossomed. and you've made Carmen proud. And I say his mama name like I shouldn't, but I do because I love Carmen. I knew his mama before I knew him. Because we used to party at Jeffrey's back in the day.
Yeah. Silk, she a Silk's baby. I'm a Silk's baby.
Yeah, she is. But that was before my time. I met her at Jeffrey's. So, we have like a family connection, even though we're not related. And we've always maintained family. You know what I'm saying?
Because I'm saying like maybe ask you as an intern, like I don't know what the switch was, but like everybody knew me as Chuy guy. You know what I'm saying? You invited me to the house. Your son became my little brother. Like it was always more of a family thing. So how did you not treat me as like, yo, this dude just go?
No,
because look up some questions.
Because when you see somebody and they got heart and they got my best interest, not just yours, because there's people that want to come in and jump off of me.
Right.
But yes, I helped open some doors for you, but you've always been you.
Gotcha.
And so when I see somebody like yourself that wants to do good, I can say, come on, and you're part of my family. So you come eat with me at my mama's house.
Yeah, for sure.
You get to hang out with me and my son. You know what I'm saying? We ride together. You know what I'm saying? So
I got a Dodge Magnum because of you.
Huh?
Remember, I got a Dodge Magnum because of you.
Right. You know what I'm saying? I was out there smashing the Magnum. He got a Magnum. We ride Magnums. He got the little white one. I got the blue one. We riding side to side. But, it's like funny because it's like, people don't realize that, I've done that for a few people. And it's like, but when I do that, it's because I believe in what you have.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because you can't let everybody in their circle anyway.
For sure, man.
And when me and My Motion was going to clubs and we was doing our thing and you watching My Motion work and you picking up and you see that sometimes it's not about the mix, but it's about the song.
Party, the selection.
Every party is different.
For sure.
And so when we told Dame, I was like, you gotta learn how to mix. But at the same time, it's like you playing all the right songs at the right time. So the mix ain't really that important sometimes. Yeah. And you learn that. And it's like, but you can only learn that if you're in the surrounding, in the circle.
Yeah.
And that you were there. You were part of that lifestyle.
I definitely learned from you.
You know what I'm saying? So that's the beauty of all this. And so now we're here, and now you got your own production company, and you're throwing your own shows. You're about to embark in another thing in 2026. You're about to make some bigger moves, and I don't want to jump on that, but let's just talk about how when you started doing these shows for the Bay and putting on like a summer jam and having your little snippets and stuff like that, how you just wanted to make the Bay shine, but also introduce them to somebody new like Paris or, Glorilla or one of them other artists that you wanted to bring in, highlight, you know what I'm saying? Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, I mean, like, even back when I was interning with you, I always wanted to crack the mic. I always wanted to, like, some form of the curator of, like, or the credit, I say.
But I told you that early on. I told you should be doing some stuff. I told you that. I said you should have a feature on the weekends. I said, you should be doing your own show where you're spotlighting and highlighting Bay Area artists. I was trying to get you to do that.
You told me.
I was
trying to get me the podcast before it was podcast.
I was trying to get you on because I told you, do this on YouTube. Before all these dudes started doing that. And that was popular. I was trying to get you on that.
I give you credit.
And I was trying to feed you, you know what I'm saying, the good movie. So let's talk about how you like to put on and showcase, man.
Yeah, I always felt like, even at radio, I always felt like a little bit of outside was missed because I think y'all was so successful and like y'all was the curators. So, I used to always come in there and try to get a record on, like, this what the streets playing, or when this play, this what the crowd go crazy to. Some of the stuff people use, but so when I got to do my shows, or I got to a point, I was like, how can I curate what the actual crowd want to hear, not what we think, corporate want to hear. You know what I'm saying? So when it came time to do my shows or Summer Jam, it was like, all right, I know I got fit. Really, it was kind of like we could cuss on it?
Yeah, of course.
It was really kind of like a fuck you, the intern has returned type. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I even put you on my intro video. But yeah, it's just incorporating the essence of home. You know what I'm saying? So it might be the underground person. I mean, it was even from your show. You used to have like the biggest to the brand new people. And I really just a branch off your tree. So,
but that's part of what my legacy is. You know, it's like my thing was always, you know, yes, we have Scarface. Yes, we have SWV. Yes, we brought Juvenile down here. But let's give La Rue a chance. You know what I'm saying? Let's give Pilo a chance. These youngsters, they're out here putting in work. And even when Guapole blew up, we didn't blow up Guapole. Guapole was already hot on the streets. Yeah. We just took the streets and put them on the radio. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, that came from people like yourself who brought that to us and said, yo, this is what's bubbling. Yeah. If I'm at the sideshow, believe it or not, they bumping Guapole closer. Right. Get out of here. You know what I'm saying? That was real. And so I'm saying, so radio a lot of times didn't blow up an artist. They just magnified it. Because these artists was already blowing up and doing things. So when you brought out, give me like one of the lineups you did at Summer Jam, when you brought out that these kids weren't really bubbling, but after you put them on, all of a sudden the station took notice of them. Because there's been a few. I mean, of course, Paris is my actual artist, so I made sure she was on that stage. But, you know, you had like people that's big on the street, like your Lil Kayla's. You had John Mack was brand new at the time. You know, we brought ROD back out. We brought Magnolia Chop, and then we finished it off with Yo Gotti. You know, because I get it. Y'all taught me the sandwich method of like put 2 solidified people and then put everything else in the middle. So it's all part of sandwiching, man. It's like when you got the hits, you got Yo Gotti, you got Juvenile, then you put Paris in the middle. They're going to sit through her, even they don't understand her or may not know her. Now they get to know her. Right. And then you come back with Juvenile and you backing that ass up. And boom. And here come No Lil Chopper, who had a super duper street anthem. Out the ghetto. And you bring it and you light up the whole stage. Right. Then you introduce John Mack. Yeah. And John Mack already hot in the streets. Yeah, because, you know, even with concerts, you like, we'd all been there and we like, why are they performing this song? And I used to just feel like, when they used to come to the station, I'm like, no, you got to perform this song when you come to the Bay Area. So it was just one of them things where we just did a whole set of like hit records in the Bay. And that's how even we doing the DaBoyDame and Friends concerts now. Like you got to have solidified B-side records in the Bay Area to even do it. And there are a bunch of hit records out there that were B-sides and weren't even singles that just cracked. But let's talk about You Play Too Much. Because you play too much and you doing things. So tell me how that came about. Yeah, just being with Gotti, you know what I'm saying? Like, he got his crew, which I'm a part of, and he got his own employees. But, you know, I'm allowed to have my own ideas, but I'm really there to facilitate his ideas and try to convince him about my ideas. And I wanted my own, you know what I'm saying? And he told me, like, gave me my blessings of like, well, this is how you do it. So we created Play Too Much Entertainment, and, you know, it start for me and it end with me. And we just building. Like, we had 2 artists at one point that got signed to Motown at one point. And, you know, we got one, now just one, she by herself, and she going crazy. Love her freestyles on the gram. She's just really popping. So it's really developing. You know, we definitely waiting for our one crazy opportunity, but it's just building. Yeah. So coming up in 2026, I know we got the Super Bowl and we got the All-Star coming, not really to the Bay, but to the West Coast. Yeah. You got some things up your sleeve? Yeah, we're going to start releasing music again from myself. And we got another DaBoyDame and Friends, the second one. So, hopefully, it's going to be at a bigger, you know what I'm saying? The goal is to make it to like, Concord Pavilion, probably. Concord Pavilion, okay. I feel like we missing that urban outside. Urban outdoor party, like back when we was in Hayward. Yeah. For the Stone Soul. And it's a younger Stone Soul demographic now, right? Because now I'm the elder. So, you know what I'm saying? It's just getting all those people in, really just curating a good time for the Bay Area. That's what we need to do. How can folks stay connected with DaBoyDame? Yeah, man, everything is DaBoyDame. 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 Stay connected, all one word, no underscore, no nothing. DaBoy Dame. Dame. Yep. Connect. That's what it is. That's what it was, and that's what we're gonna be. Yes, sir. We all we got. My man. See, a lot of folks don't know we were separated at birth. We're still connected by shoestrings. But we're here. Miguel Escobedo, Mr. E. How do you go from being a DJ to making tacos and burritos and doing that thing? Because it's a completely different lifestyle, bro.
It is, but it isn't. Because the goal for me, like my happiness has been like serving the people or providing joy for the people. And DJing and cooking for people brings me the same joy. So if I'm rocking a dance floor and cooking for a food restaurant, people say, "Oh man, what was that song? That was such a dope mix. That was awesome. I had such a good time." Or, "Oh man, what was that sauce? What was in there? That was so delicious. I had such a good time."
But the big difference though is that when somebody says, "What was that song?" you tell them. When they come in and go, "What's in that sauce?" you don't tell them.
That's true, but I'm so happy. I charge them. But I've been DJing forever.
Right.
I've never, it was, it was pretty full on since the late 80s. But also my family's been in the restaurant business forever.
So that was my next question. So did you grow cooking or you just grew up in the restaurants and then decided to start cooking? Because there's a big difference because as somebody who has family, who has restaurants and has cousins that grew up cooking and prepping and doing that sort of stuff, did you do a lot of that stuff?
I helped my mom a lot and my dad. But my dad likes to cook. He's a great cook. If I could credit a lot of my creativity, it's from my dad. Salsas, all of that. But my mom, I would love to help her cook. So I spent a lot of time in the kitchen with my mom.
But not at your cousin's restaurants.
Not until, like my first job was at Celia's in San Rafael.
It was.
I was a busboy, pretty much a busboy. And then not till like the late 90s that I started getting into the cooking aspects of it. But I was already really into food and stuff. It's always been a part of my family. So I've always loved the service industry for the interaction that I had with people. Even as a busboy, like I could, if there was a family of 4 and I'm a busboy, it gives you like a green light to be like, "Hey, how are you guys? Where do you guys live?" All these questions that if you ask them on the street,
You're a weirdo.
the cops.
You're a weirdo. Get away from me, sir.
And I love that. I love that the restaurant industry and the DJ industry allows you to connect closer to people.
And being closer to people, you and your brother had a restaurant together early on as well.
Yes.
Did that inspire you to want to go solo and do your own thing after working with your brother for a while?
It definitely did. Papalote was amazing for me because it was the first time that I was allowed to fully express myself in the kitchen, and fully create a menu that in my mind felt it was time to have, which was Mexican food. We opened in the Mission. And it's like, who opens a burrito shop in the Mission where it's the mecca of burritos? But I also felt like a lot of the places were doing the same thing, just in their own little different way, but kind of the same menu. So I'm like, not knocking it. I love it. I still love it. One of my favorite burritos is from Palolito. But I wanted to make something a little more different, a little more contemporary, a little more health conscious, still using fresh Mexican ingredients. So Papalote allowed me to do that with the menu and the salsa. My brother still has Papalote. It's still, in the Mission and the Panhandle. But at one point, I kind of wanted to do my own things. And so I'm like, I took that chance along with my wanting to see True al Pastor in San Francisco. Nobody did it from the Prompe.
Right, but you also not just wanted to do Al Pastor because you were a fan. You went back to Mexico City to learn how to do the sazon and how to cook it and how to put the trompo together and everything. So you took it upon yourself to really learn the craft from where it came.
I can't, there's no future in your front. So I had to really, I pushed myself to really learn the true way of doing Al Pastor. I took 2 trips to Mexico. One was to the Instituto de Gastronomía in Mexico City. And there I took like a 1-day intensive on Al Pastor. And that was the most beautiful trip because it was so people were so passionate about food, and there was people from all over the world there to learn this. But the chef, he was sick. He was like, "Listen, here's the recipe. Here's how to make it and why." So I learned a lot about the history too. But he's like, if you don't have all these ingredients exactly as you've been taught, don't call it al pastor, don't even call it Mexican food. Like I was like, okay, doc. Luckily in San Francisco, we have all those ingredients, so I'm able to provide real Mexico City al pastor. The second trip, I have some friends in Mexico City that know taqueros, and they let me shadow a taquero for a couple of days.
Nice.
So like in the morning, como lo hacen el trompo, everything about it, and then how, the whole process. I mean, I spent 2 whole days shadowing these people. And so I got game from school and I got game from the streets, and hopefully it's translated into what we're doing.
And that's awesome because, when you got the schooling from the basics and the fundamentals and the foundation, then you go to the street vendors. They do it a little bit different because they put their own sazon in it and they put their own little twist on it. You get the best of both worlds at that point.
100%. And I wanted to really embody the true essence of why I loved Al Pastor since I was little.
Mm-hmm. And we're going to go back and forth here, but I want to talk a little bit about how you're a huge reggae fan and a huge vinyl collector. You're such a huge fan that you named one of your kids Marley.
That's right. I won that battle.
So how did that come about with you? You just was always a selector and a fan? Or?
I mean, a lot of Bob Marley's music really influenced just me as a person. And so I kind of wanted to indirectly plant that seed with my son so that sooner or later he could be curious about why I named him Marley. And, we're all human. Nobody's perfect. We've done all good and bad. But the overall message of Bob Marley is one of unity and equal rights and justice. And it's a peaceful approach. So, with leading by example as well as showing where I was inspired from music, that's why I named it Marley. And then with my daughter, I lost the Sade battle. So that's it.
All right, so now let's talk about you doing a healthy option for folks and using really nice ingredients. You've also done some crappy ideas, like the macaroni and cheese burrito.
Bro, you tripping. That shit was
Who
sexy.
does that?
Because why not? Because here's the thing, like the macaroni and cheese burrito, the Filipino burrito, I did a different.
You've done several.
I did like a
crazy
jerk chicken burrito, but to me, the formula is the same. It's like protein followed by a freshness, followed by a carb. So rice, chicken adobo, and tomatoes mimic how a burrito is built. And then if you balance the flavors, it's successful. It was kind of like a stretch for sure, but people were loving that. It was I actually made it with, rest in peace, Pam the Funkstress, and that got a following of its own, the Soul Rita. So I don't want to front like I know how to make fried chicken and stuff. I called upon our sister Pam, and she's a chef herself. She provided the mac and cheese, collard greens, a hint of yams, and the chicken. So you got freshness, the greens, the carb. So it sounds funky, but it worked.
No, and you will get credit from me on doing some very creative burritos. Like you said, the jerk chicken burrito, the Mexipino burrito. The one that was the craziest to me though was that mac and cheese burrito. I was like, I lost my mind. Like, what's next? Fried chicken burrito? What's the deal here?
Yeah. I mean, why not? But we're having fun. I'm not gonna be the purveyor of these. It's just little specials.
No, and then those are awesome. I mean, when you do these specials and you do these collabs and you team up with other chefs and do things like that, that is incredible. And also your generosity, because I see you doing a lot of stuff for the farm workers and just for kids and for less fortunate people in the community. Is that also come from your family, or is that just something that you do because it resonates with you?
I feel like it resonates with me because I came from a situation living in Mexico City, where we were cool, but my bus would go through all these neighborhoods to get to school. So, it'd be our neighborhood, cool. But then we'd drive through uh, little towns where the houses were made out of metal and cardboard.
And clay.
Yeah, and so it's like that hits you. But what hits you even harder is that the smiles from the kids' faces aren't gone. That the happiness from families being together, they're still there. People just adjust. But that tugs at my heart. I know that people are always going to need more and stuff. So my philosophy is, if I'm going to have a business and I'm going to be in a community, I need to be part of that community and give back to that community, because that community is making me, So I'm blessed to have a business. It's not all about stacking hella money. It's about living fun and giving back. So that's my philosophy. And we've been doing that at Papalote. We've been doing that with Al Pastor Papi every chance I get. Now that I'm here at Union Square, we gave back already 100 burritos on opening day, 700 burritos with the ABT situation. So much so that in 6 months, we got a certificate of honor from City Hall just last week. So all that stuff's nice, but I don't do it for that. I just do it to give back to this community.
It's the right thing to do.
But it's cool to be recognized. Same with the farm workers. Like, and I shadow your leadership on this, because you've been super active as well, and you've mirrored and shown me that we've all we've got. I mean, that's
we all we
phrase.
got. That's what we live by.
It's for Latinos, but it's also for humans.
Right.
We all we got, and the powers that be try to separate us, but we got to be here on the ground doing the work. And so I thank you for your leadership on that. And we're just all trying to do what we can. I'm just a burrito guy. You're just a radio guy. But there's people like Hijas del Campo, the United Farm Workers, organizations that dedicate their life to helping the farm workers. So we try to support as much as we can. So
whenever and wherever, and we got United players out there that do a lot of good work. We got City Eats. We got
we work with them. They're doing all that. So
definitely connect with us.
A lot of people.
Yeah. So and my man does stuff consistently. So you guys can always make donations to him directly, because he's feeding the farm workers. He's doing toy drives. He's doing a lot of different things where he feeds people here in Union Square. So if you want to make a donation to help keep the movement going, definitely connect on his Instagram and send your donations that way. You have an actual PayPal or something where they can hit you up?
I just, on Instagram, when we find an action, then I create a GoFundMe.
Okay, there you go.
And, please follow us for that.
What's the Instagram?
Instagram is Al Pastor Papi 415.
There you go, Al Pastor Papi 415. Connect with him, do what you do. I love you. You're my brother forever.
Forever.
So we appreciate you taking time to talk to us. But before we go, mezcal or tequila?
Tequila all day. Tequila and Fortaleza, to be specific.
We'll leave it with that.
I already